we've decided, what we think is that finding happiness, you find happiness through avoiding suffering and avoiding hardship and avoiding sacrifice. And we don't realize that that's not where you find happiness. You find happiness through hardship, overcoming it in the midst of it. That's where you find happiness. So if you spend your whole life trying to go around hardship and sacrifice, you're going to miss it because it's right there in the middle. You got to plunge in and find it. And if you Google it, you'll see a headline saying that people without kids are way happier than people with kids. There's a problem with these kinds of studies. Number one, they assume an honest self-assessment. The only way to measure someone's happiness is just to ask them, are you happy with your life choices? Is your life, are you happy with the path you've taken? Has it worked out for you? Do you feel fulfilled? All you can do is ask them. And it would require people who have sacrificed family for career, it would require them to look honestly at their lives and at themselves and to assess it. But most people don't have the courage for that. So instead, they'll just say, oh, yeah, sure, I'm so happy. But they're not trying to convince us. They're trying to convince themselves primarily. The second problem is that a study, these kind of studies, in surveys, they assume that people have a correct understanding of happiness, which most people don't. Most people don't know what happiness is, so they don't know how to find it. And they're unhappy, but they don't even know that they are unhappy because they don't understand what happiness is. They don't, in other words, they don't know what they're missing. They don't know what they could have and what sort of happiness and joy they could actually attain, because all they've ever gone for is just this shallow, selfish, immediate kind of pleasure and indulgence. That's all they've ever gone for. It's all they've ever had. So they say, oh, yeah, well, I guess that's happiness. It's not. It would be like if you wanted to find out whether people who exercise are happier or less happy than people who don't exercise. And so you go to a guy on a treadmill who's on like mile 3 of the treadmill and he's sweating and he's exhausted. And you go up and you ask him in the moment, hey, are you happy right now? And the guy is uncomfortable and he's in pain and he wants to get off the treadmill, but he told himself he'd do 5 miles. So right now in this moment, he would not self-identify as happy. And then let's say then you go and you find a guy who's sitting on a couch eating Cheetos and he's on hour 5 of a Netflix binge and you ask him, are you happy right now? Probably, as he's relaxing on the couch and just sitting there on his butt, he'll probably say, oh yeah, I'm so happy. I'm relaxing. It's great. I'm happy. Does that actually prove which path brings greater happiness? Or does that prove that the guy on the couch is deluded and numb and the guy on the treadmill is working for something greater and bigger than what the guy on the couch is working for? So maybe if you're doing your survey, you should wait a couple hours. Wait till the guy's off the treadmill after a day spent eating healthy and getting exercise, after an active full day. Ask him then. And then ask the guy who spent all day watching TV as he's finally fading off to bed with his brain half melted. Ask him. Ask them then how happy they are. Better yet, come back in a few years. Come back in a few years when the guy on the treadmill has been working out and exercising and being healthy this whole time. And now he's older, but he's in great physical shape. And he doesn't have a lot of the health problems that people his age have. And then go to the guy who's been sitting on the couch the whole time and he's overweight, he's fat, he's got diabetes. Let's do a comparison then to find out who's happier, who chose the better path. So if you spend your whole life trying to go around hardship and sacrifice, you're going to miss it because it's right there in the middle. You got to plunge in and find it.